Okay. ACL. That's this thing right here. It's in there. It's also, there's some other names for it. I was looking it up last night. It's anterior something tissue, or it's a ligament. So I may go to Academy Sports and look for a brace, because the ligament is there to keep the leg right here in line. Let's see if I can show this, because I'm going to do a little 30-minute thing. So the ligament here, it's almost like a joint, and it's going to keep everything in line, okay? So it's there to guide the leg. And when it gets a little bit bruised or anything, it can get out of line. And I've seen some photos of the ACL and things like that. So when you have a brace on there, it can heal a little bit quicker. But I've been doing 5.1 to 4.9 miles, off and on jogging, about 18-minute miles, going slower, almost like a walk. I want to increase that to about maybe 15 minutes to 10-minute miles, which is really tough. We're going to do like a little 30-minute. It can get a little warm. It starts hurting on this side, right here. I think that's where the bench hit it, which caused it to shake a little bit. It was a picnic bench where you sit down at a place called the Blue Goose Cantina that was too low, and I went underneath this, it was like a wall, this partition that went down. I went underneath it. There is the park bench, boom, hit it right there. It was like a picnic table bench. And when I hit it, I'm trying to analyze everything, it was about this low to the ground. And I think I hit it on this side of the knee, on the inside. Which I'm thinking, I always think of Hoist Gracie when he was a fighter. I think he went for the inside of that knee, kicking it like this. So when he was fighting, if you watch him, he did a lot of front snaps like this. You heard it click right there. And little front snaps. And he would kick sometimes on the inside of that knee, and that was the end of the fight. You know, or it put that fighter out of commission for probably about a year if they fought Hoist Gracie. And then they went back, because those front snaps, he'd go right for the knee. Watch his fighting. Hoist Gracie was amazing. And so this ACL, it's painful. And I can see, if I was a fighter and I had to fight Hoist Gracie, he got my knee, I wouldn't be able to return to the fight for about a year or more. And then he would knock that guy right out of the competition. That's why he was number one. The only guy that ever beat him was one guy. One guy was the only guy that ever beat him, Shamrock. Shamrock didn't beat him the first time. Shamrock outweighed him by about 50 pounds of muscle. Shamrock was huge. Shamrock, 210, 220 muscle. And then Hoist Gracie was 170 pounds. Normal looking guy. He beat them all. He beat all of them in the ring. But of course, Shamrock. Shamrock went to Japan. He learned jiu-jitsu. He learned what Hoist Gracie was doing. Finally pinned Hoist Gracie down in the ring using his head. Shamrock used his head by banging it against Hoist Gracie's head, cutting him almost to the point where he died. And they had to cut the fight. There was so much blood in the ring. It was a very bloody fight. I saw it. They aired it on pay-per-view a long time ago. I do not think you can access that fight on YouTube. I've tried to access it. I think part of it is accessed. I may be able to access it, but it was a bloody fight, and I think they even thought about censoring the fight from public television and stuff, or from just the public, because it was that bloody. It was one of the most bloody fights ever. But Hoist was very smart. He was an intelligent fighter. He wasn't a fighter that used only physical force. He knew where to kick the guy in the knee. We're talking about mixed martial arts. We're not talking about boxing. We're talking about a whole different style of fighting. And when he came into the ring, everyone was blown away because most of the guys were wrestler type people. And Hoist would knock their kneecaps out and then get them into a chokehold, and that was the end of the fight. Almost every time. He did use his gi. If you ever notice Hoist Gracie, he'd use his gi here. So when he had them, he used it like a vice. So he'd have them holding his gi. You can do that with your hand or anything. You know, if you got them like this, that's the end of the fight. You know, or if you're holding here, you have to watch it because he had them in a chokehold and they couldn't breathe. And they couldn't breathe. They had to stop. They tap out. And that's when the tap out thing started. It was all the beginning parts of MMA, mixed martial arts with Hoist Gracie. That was the beginning part of all of it. He was mean. He wasn't like a mean like Mike Tyson. He was mean because he was smart in the ring. That's why he was mean. And that's why if I get an ACL injury, that's still what I think of, you know, because it puts you down. It puts you down for a while. But we're going to try to work through it. I'm going to see if I can get a brace at Academy Sports. And then I'm gonna go on a little 30-minute and see how it feels today, rather than do the whole 5.5, and I'll talk about it in just a minute. I'm about to go on a run, but yesterday I was going on a little jog and I saw this daisy looking kind of flower. It's a very large flower. And I reached down to pick it, and it has like a, almost like a thorn. It's like a small little thorn, more of a prickly thorn. And man, it stabbed me like you would not believe. Right there. And it just embedded in me. I don't know what type of daisy it was, but it was it wasn't a daisy, but it was a large flower that looked like a large daisy. Probably about, the head was about that size. So I was like, oh, that looks kind of like a daisy, but it wasn't a daisy. And I picked it up, and man, it got me good. Almost like a cactus, prickly cactus thing. All right, so it can take 6 months to 9 months for an ACL knee injury to heal. If you get surgery, it could be quicker. So you're gonna have like swelling in the knee. It's gonna pop, so the knee will pop. And you have to go, and I would suggest go look online and see what that ligament looks like, so you get an idea of what's healing. If you were a guy that did like 5 miles a day on jogging, you may have to do that every other day. Today, we're gonna go up to Academy Sports. I'm not gonna be able to vlog it. So I'm gonna be going with a different device. I'll be going with an iTouch Apple. So it'll be an iTouch. So it's like an iShuffle, but it's got a camera on it, things like that. And I'm gonna show you a routine that you can do. I'm in the middle of the floor work. That will help you with your ATL. And I'll show you 2 different angles. So I'm gonna see if I can move this because I can't really see. Okay, yeah. You wanna take, it's this injury here. It's mild. If it was serious, I wouldn't be doing any of this. And you wanna go like this right here and do about 20 of them. Okay, it's just, you can bring your head up this way, just like that. So you're doing these right here. And that will help strengthen the ACL. I think the other day I was calling it something else, but it's ACL. It's about maybe 12. And there's maybe 13 or so, 14 good ones. Then we got a 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, okay? So you want to do that. It's just mild though. Another thing that you want to do too is this right here. Just like that. About like that. Okay? So it's mild. This happens, football players, soccer players. I was a soccer player, so I did a little bit of football with safety. They put me in the back. If anyone broke through, it was my job to get them. Usually it was the biggest guy, and I would have to tackle him. So I was able to do it, but my dad made me quit football, and eventually I got into theater arts. I was a 145-pound football player. I was really skinny. My dad, he said, I was in high school trying to get on varsity. He said, son, you're 145 pounds, nearly 6 foot. I'm 5'11 and a half. You're too thin for football. They'll kill you. And I said, okay. So I had to go to my coach. I said, Coach, I have to leave the football team. I have to quit. He goes, why would you quit? And I said, well, my father no longer wants me to play football. He thinks I'm too scrawny. And he said, well, if he wants you to quit, then you got to quit. So I quit. I didn't go to the soccer team. I thought about going to the soccer team. I didn't. Instead, I thought about starting a rock band. And that was when I was at Keller. Eventually, I left my father's home at 15, went to live with my mom. My mom enrolled me in stage combat, as in theater. And that's when I switched over from sports to theater. So that's how it happens sometimes. I ended up getting up to about 170 pounds. When I left the actor's studio, I was about 27. I was about 170. But I was, in Hollywood, I was about 157. And I was 6 foot, basically, 5'11 and a half. I just say 6 foot. And, my goodness, that was very scrawny. But I got up. I did work out at a place called Synergy in New York City. It was right there in Gramercy Park. I worked out there, and sometimes they'd even let me work out without my membership because my membership ran out, I think, within like 6 months or something, or 5 months. And I would just show up, and they just open the door and let me in. I was able to do like 1,000 sit-ups, 500 push-ups. Not at one time. I was doing sets of like 70 to 100 push-ups. And then I'd rest and do like another 70 push-ups and then another 30 push-ups. I do that till I get to 500. And then I was doing like 1,000 sit-ups, but not full sit-ups. They were like crunches and maybe about 50 regular sit-ups. I was in shape. I was in big time shape. And I was on television every other Tuesday or every other Monday, I think. So when we aired it all, I think it was a Monday or Tuesday. But it was every other week that we would air. Well, it would air way later on. So it would air like 6 months later, but we were recording every 2 weeks. So we had to be on, not national, but international television every 2 weeks. The camera could be right there, a close-up. So we paid attention to what we ate. We paid attention to working out, and we were fit. A lot of people were fit. They were fit. My roommate was, he was there for a while. He was pure muscle. He ended up being a Hollywood stunt show guy. He was a Hollywood stuntman. He was a stuntman. His name was Blake. He was like pure muscle. So we had guys there that were very, very fit. Some even military. There was a Navy guy there. My other roommate was Navy. And I mean, it was a tough school because we had 2 weeks. If you had a hamburger or something, which I never did, or even a slice of pizza, you knew that would show. Sorry, there's Navy flying over. You knew that would show. So if you pigged out and stuff, that next 2 weeks, that's what they saw, So I ate a lot of at the time, and I kind of regret it, I ate a lot of soy products. I was eating like Gin soy bars, Matrix bar, or Met RX bars, boiled eggs. I ate a lot of barley. I would boil barley and put peas, barley, peas, and sometimes carrots. Always at the health food store, getting stuff. And I'd even sometimes run out of money because health food store is expensive. I'd have to watch my budget. And then some breads. I'd eat some breads like French bread and honey. I'd eat that too. And then I was trying to write because I would get real creative. So I'd start, writing, and I would write stuff like that. Like I was working on a novel about a journalist and all this other stuff. But I would put that on the side. I didn't work on it every day. I didn't get through the school, so I lost my stuff after the second semester. I think some people think I just shot myself in the foot kind of thing. And I was playing a character his name was the same as, it was Oswald in Ghost. It's Ibsen play. He's a mad painter that loses his sight and depends on his mother. And it's a great play. It was written by Ibsen. I was in the basement with his laundry room, and this girl was doing her laundry, and I think we were talking about if I was going to do my laundry in the wash or if I was going to do the dry. And she was kind of curt with me. I wasn't trying to be mean to her. She was in this kind of a Skippy outfit doing her laundry. She went into the elevator, and I put my clothes in the dryer. Then I went up to my place, and then I came back down, and when I took my clothes out of the dryer, I saw this little piece of red, looked like lipstick, on one of my turtlenecks. And I didn't have a lot of clothes. I don't know what it was, like the Spiritus Monday or something. I don't know what it was. I turned around this way, and just like right here, and the laundry room is also under construction, there was a bucket of paint. True story, it was a bucket of paint, because they were doing drywall. So I took the bucket of paint like this, I walked over, opened her wash, took the bucket of paint, and poured it right into her wash. And I set the bucket of paint down like right here. And then I shut the washer, took my clothes and went upstairs. So about 3 weeks later, Lipton called me in the office, or maybe 2 weeks later. And he asked me about the washing machine. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Because I didn't want them to arrest me. So I don't know what you're talking about. Then he wanted me to go home. I said, well, I think you should go home and get some help. And so we had this other guy come in, and he sat me down, and he said, since you are no longer, this was exactly this guy sounded like. This is a black dude, he was like from Africa or something, has an English accent. Or it was an accent, and he was in charge of telling me this. And he said, since you are no longer part of the Actor Studio Drama School and the New School University, that means that you're no longer part of the dorm, and you will have to move out. And this was like going on May of that 2002. April, May, yeah. Right before summer. I was going to have summer there. I was going to audition for Broadway the whole time. I said, okay. So I got all my stuff, and I moved out, put it in a storage unit, and I immediately got a place at the Riverview. It was a Riverview hotel. And when I was sleeping there, I didn't realize, I woke up the next day, I was still jogging around and stuff. And I asked, I said, you know, because it looked like there was like a movie truck outside or something, one of those television movie trucks or something. I asked them, and I said, what's going on here? And they go, oh, they're shooting this movie. I said, oh, really? Well, what is it called? It's like 25th Hour or something like that. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Well, later on, I would come to learn that was Spike Lee that was at that Riverview. He was shooting a scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Anna Paquin or some other actors. They were shooting a scene inside the studio stuff. They shot 12 Angry Itch there, which is the Hedwig movie. They shot that there too. So it's a filming location area. It's Riverview. And the 25th Hour was filmed there. I didn't see Spike Lee or anything, but he was there. His crew was there, and they were filming. Well, I ended up leaving there, and I remember when I was leaving, there was all these little baggies on the floor. These little tiny baggies. And it seemed like maybe someone had thrown them on the floor, but it was like hundreds of them all along the sidewalk. If I had a camera, I would have taken a photo of them. There were like hundreds and hundreds of these little baggies that were outside of the Riverview. I said someone just threw them down on the ground. They were all empty. So I don't know if they did that for like some kind of method effect or something, or if someone just threw the baggies down there or something, or if some dealer dropped them or something. I never figured that one out. Or maybe he did it to get them in the mindset of something. But it was a weird experience. And then I finally, after about 3 or 4 days of the Riverview, I called Mom, and I was like, I'm gonna head back. Mom worked for American Airlines. She said, okay, I'll send a ticket, just go up to the ticket booth, give me your information, because I fly standby. You can go anywhere. I can go to New York tomorrow if I wanted to. And I'll put you on standby, and you can head back. And so I came back to Texas, got an apartment in Euless, and started working at 7-Eleven. And that was probably 2002 summer, and that's where I've been here since. Yeah, I left for Maine for about 17 months and worked in a wood mill for a little bit. I got to go on a little jog. I'm going to Academy Sports. All right, 1 hour 47 minutes. So we went almost 120 minutes. It was all outdoors. Felt like it was 100 degrees. You see it right there. 147. 60 minutes plus the 47. Oh, wait a minute. That is 127 minutes. It's 127 minutes. We're going to do the steps once a week. So we'll do the review. Meaning we'll do steps 7 days a week, but we'll review it throughout the course on this one. You can only do screenshots on this one. Okay, on what I'm holding. But this right here, 1 hour and 47 minutes of out. Pretty much walking. It was very hot today. It was very hot. That's what I did today. Yeah. Had a carpenter, this white dude, about $1.80. He was doing carpentering work in his house, and I had to stop and get water. He gave me a little bottle of water, and then I finally made it back. I still have that bottle of water, but I used a water hose to get all the sweat out of my eyes. What I like to do is play laser cat. Kitty. Kitty. Laser cats. Laser cats. Laser cats. Look at this lazy kitty. I call it laser kitty, but it's really called lazy kitty rather than laser kitty. Is it laser kitty or lazy kitty? Huh? Laser kitty. Laser kitty. Laser kitty. Look at the laser kitty. Look. Come on. At least reach your paw. At least just reach toward the laser kitty. Come on. Golly. We'll get the ball here pretty soon. Well, maybe we'll get Linda over here to play with you. 177,289 miles on the speedometer. 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Just jumped up to 91. We're dealing with May 19, 2023. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show with your host, moi, Cole Spivey. Moi is a term used in the French as in me, to my knowledge. If not, leave a comment. And we're going to be headed off to a couple different places before we start today. We're going to get some energy. I got to get a little bit of gas, probably CircleK, and get a little refill. Then we're going to head off to a Mexican food restaurant at the Shops at Clear Fork, kind of chill for a minute, and then turn everything on. Take like a little break because I just had a hike. I did a 1 hour and 47 minute. If I said that wrong, it was a 107 minute hike. So 1 hour and 47 minute hike, and in about 90 degree weather. And I got so much sweat in my eyes, I couldn't see. So I went over to, I guess it was a neighboring house or some house that was in the neighborhood. Carpenter guy was working on this new house. And he knew I needed water, so he gave me a little bit of water, a little bottle of water. But I had to turn on this hose and spray my face to get all the sweat. I had tons of sweat. I'll probably wear my sweat hood next time just to soak up a lot of that sweat. You wear a sweat hood, it keeps a lot of the sweat out of your eyes. A little hoodie, that's good for sweat. Man, it was a lot of sweat in my eyes. I couldn't really see. So then I got the water hose and sprayed it all over my face, and it was much better. Anyway, we're headed out. This Mountain Dew purple stuff is actually pretty good. I mixed in some diet in there though. So diet stuff really gets you going. A lot of calories. I mean, not a lot of calories, I'm sorry. A lot of caffeine. introduction sound like Portlandia.
You're entering the Doritos dimension. Launch your taste buds on a journey to the realm of cheese and spice. Fuel up for an unforgettable...
Well, I picked up this little Circle K. It's a Mountain Dew, Purple Thunder. I'm a big fan of Mountain Dew. I do like Diet Mountain Dew too. When I'm really dieting, I'll drink Mountain Dew or Diet Mountain Dew. And I wrote a play called Paloozed, and the character in it drinks Diet Mountain Dew. He's also kind of like a journalist that writes about corruption and stuff, and he's also an escaped mental patient. It's a really good play. I gave it to Gracie Toon. She's the sister of Tommy Toon, and she liked it. She said, well, someone's got to produce this play. I said, I agree with you. And then I got some of this stuff at Circle K. Right here, it's basically grapes. It's this brand, grapes and a little bit of cheese. And then we're gonna head to the shops and pretty much turn everything out. I went to the early Circle K, so this is like a Circle K 20 and 377. It's not the Circle K I usually go to. The traffic's really bad right now. It's like, this gets bad. It's like a 2 or 3 lane right up this way. And that'll lead me all the way up to the shops. Right, this one was payway. It went off when I was right next door, so we're already here. I'm gonna pick it up and then we'll get the mileage. I call these the Big Bubba drinks, but you can get them at Circle K. And it's good for the day. You got 2 aspects of it. If you keep soda in it, you got these things which will release the soda, the whatever you call it, the carbonation. If you do coffee, it's good too. Steam can come out of here, and then you can close it and open it. These are some of the really good ones right here. So it's pretty cool. Mountain Dew, Polar Pop. I just gotta see what this says. This is very interesting. Another one. Yeah, they tear out of it. Oh, I like this one. Pretty good. All right, so we're gonna get the mileage here in just a second, and you can see somebody's calling. Yeah, from Colorado. There's a sonar going off right there. And maybe it was a bird or something, I don't know. All right, we're gonna see the mileage here in just a second. Leaving payway, and boom. We're gonna be there 2.2 miles, a 7-minute drive. It'll be 4:59 on the arrival. And that's in the PM, as in post meridian. Going about 17 miles per hour, maybe a little less. Nope, it's going 10 miles per hour. Slow train.